Welcome back to the Boneyard podcast, everybody. This is your host, Jared Sheffield, along with my good friend,
Artemis, bro.
We're coming to you this week with episode 237. Some ASMR to kick off the podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Artemis.
Yo.
How's it going, my friend?
We're good, brother. We are good. We're tired, but we're here.
I love how Brandon absolutely clocked us in the in the group chat.
It's fair though, because we did
we did say that, and I do want that to be the case going forward. The travel, and we probably should have waited till after baseball season ended to do Sundays. Hindsight
2020, baby. Hindsight is always 2020.
Yeah. maybe we'll push that back a little bit. But we are gonna get to Sundays.
Yes, I agree. I do like doing Sundays. It's just I mean I was on planes all day on Sunday. I literally physically
we should have at least waited until after Easter.
Yeah,
Easter's a hell of a day.
I tried to get Monday off, but it just didn't work in the cards for me. So
all good.
Had to come back Sunday.
All good. Well, Artie, we're gonna not a ton to talk about. We got a little bit of baseball to talk about. We're gonna recap ECU baseball this past weekend with their series win over UAB. We're gonna talk ECU spring game. We're also gonna talk about the NFL draft and then do gambling corner at the end. But before we do all that, Artemis, do you have a number 37?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't. I do not have.
Mine is super chalk. Mine's super chalk.
Look, I'm just gonna. I literally just Googled something real quick. So I'm gonna say Doak Walker, which I didn't even know. I knew that Florida State was named after Doak Walker. I've never actually researched Doak Walker. I didn't know who Doak Walker was. I thought this was maybe like a coach or just like a chancellor of the university. This is an actual player. This is a Heisman Trophy winning player, Doak Walker.
Yeah.
Notable NFL career, had 2 NFL championships in his career. Obviously, all-time great Florida State alumni. So that's my 37 for the week, Doak Walker.
I've never seen his cause of death is injury in humans. What does that even mean?
Who?
Doak Walker.
You said his cause of death with what?
Injury in humans. Also, his spouse, hell of a name. Skeeter.
Skeeter
Walker.
That's a classic. That's a good one. Skeeter Walker. That's fantastic. Well, as someone with a phenomenal name, that's a fantastic name.
That's he didn't go to Florida State though.
Doak Walker didn't go to Florida State. Then why is the damn stadium named after? Isn't it Doak Walker Stadium or some shit like that?
I don't know why it's named after him. He went to SMU.
Doak Walker went to SMU. So why is there nothing about Doak Walker at SMU? More research has to be done. It's okay.
Why?
I'm curious.
Why is it named after Doak Walker? Was he a coach? Now I feel like a casual.
Maxwell of the World in 1947, Heisman Trophy in 1948. He had to have been a coach.
Now, at SMU, they have Doak Walker Plaza. I really don't know. I'm and I'm not gonna look into it too much.
I don't know. Maybe I'm
Uh,
wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of Dope Walker in another aspect. I don't know.
I
Either way.
mean that's what it's called. That's the name.
Right. So I just assume.
I don't know. Mine. I'm going super uh chalk with mine. Already, it's the best time of year. It's the NHL playoffs, baby. Number 37. And as much crap as I give this guy for not living up to his potential, uh, in my opinion, he's still, I mean, 37 is a slim number. Andrei Svechnikov, number 37,
There's
your, your Carolina Hurricanes. See the hat, rocking the ECU Carolina Hurricanes collab hat this
absolutely.
week or this tonight on the podcast. Yeah, I mean, now I will say games 1 and 2, Svechnikov has looked like everything that I've wanted him to look like. He has the empty net goal in game 1. I'd like him to put one past a goaltender and like him to actually to get on the score sheet a little bit more. But man, is he physical? That man plays hard, and that's all I'm asking for. Play at that speed.
Yeah.
All right. Already after a 3-1 week, ECU. So ECU finishes a 3-1 week in baseball after taking the series against the University of Alabama at Birmingham, or is it University of Alabama Birmingham? I don't really know. The Blazers were down in game 3, but stormed back after the 5th inning. Look, the Pirates had a sweep like in their eyes. They could see it. And UAB just completely stormed back in that game 3 and took that away. But lots of things to be optimistic about after this weekend of ECU baseball. Maybe not so much the end of game 3, but other than that, I really liked how the bats were coming together. Pitching seemed to be there all weekend. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, sitting at 24-17, shaping up to finish the way I guess we kind of thought the season was going to finish. But I like how we've looked out, obviously outside of this last game. You give up 16 runs, that's just absurd. But I think there's still promise. I think there's still a little bit of salvaging we can do for this season. Obviously, would have loved to have had the game yesterday. Obviously, that got canceled with NC State due to the inclement weather and the storms coming in. And it's not being rescheduled, which sucks. But understandable why they had to cancel that. But going into this next series, I think we have what is it, Tulane going into this next
Yep,
series.
Tulane this weekend.
We can get right with Tulane. We can really salvage the season.
Yeah, I got Tulane this weekend. And it's you get a series win here, you're looking pretty good going down the final stretch.
Mm.
I mean, it's almost a. I mean, it is every series from here on out is a must-win series. You can't be dropping more than a game a weekend to your conference foes the rest of the way out.
Right.
So, and Corey Glore back in Greenville.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Back home. Corey Glore back home. Love to see it.
Overall, Artie, like how are we feeling with ECU baseball going down the final stretch? Like, are we at all optimistic for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I mean, if there's any indication with the last 5 to 6 games, yeah, absolutely. I absolutely feel like there's a lot of games to be played, right? There's a lot of things we can still do to salvage this season. I really think it's conference tournament, right? If we can get into the conference tournament, good seeding, do what we have to do in the conference tournament, then we can really turn this thing around. I don't think we're making any noise in the playoffs. I don't think we're making any noise, obviously in the big dance. Not this season in particular, but to at least salvage it to a more respectable ECU season. Say, okay, we had our lumps, we had our ups and downs, but you know what? These guys put it together and they finished the season strong. Yeah, I absolutely think that's still in the cards.
Yeah, and I mean you're looking at two teams that are 24-17 on the year, battling it out this weekend, and
each one either one's season. To be honest with you.
Yeah, and I mean right now ECU's ahead of Tulane in the standings, but you need to keep it that way, right? You've got, I mean, UTSA looks like they're primed to run away with the regular season championship.
That series coming up soon.
Currently 12-3 in conference, but it's strange to see the Pirates not sitting atop of the conference.
Yeah, it is.
You got a what is that? 3-way tie currently with ECU, Florida Atlantic, and Charlotte. Of course, Florida Atlantic swept the Pirates earlier in the season, so they're currently ahead of us. But yeah, got to put it together. You got to be better on the road as well.
Let me ask you this: with 3 series left in the season, right? You got Tulane coming up. You got that middle game with Elon. You got Wichita State, and you got UTSA. I guess 4 series, South Florida. What chances do you give in these remaining 4 conference bouts that we got?
I like your chances against Tulane and at Wichita State. UTSA and South Florida are the top 2 teams in the conference right now. If you can put together 2 really good series like that weekend, you could make some noise. Mm-hmm. You could be looking at finishing possibly second in the conference if you can find a way to steal 2 at UTSA and then beat South Florida. And did I have that right? Was that at UTSA? Oh no, that's at home. That's in Greenville.
That's in Greenville.
So yeah, I mean, there's potential. I'm not holding my breath, but I like our chances to take Tulane and Wichita State. And then of course you have Campbell, that non-conference game in between UTSA and South Florida. That's always a good test. And then at Elon, that's always to travel on the road, that's a win that you need to come home with.
I mean, I said those last seven games are tough. It's critical to get some footing in these next 2 series to at least give you a little bit of a cushion, right? To give you some leeway going, because those last 7 is tough.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at it, Wichita State's dead last in the conference right now. Wichita State and Memphis are tied for last. And yeah, I mean, like I said, Tulane kind of sitting right there. They're solo 4th after there's a 3-way tie for 3rd. So yeah, a lot of seeding implications for the Pirates these last 4 weeks of the season. Anything else on baseball, Artie?
I got nothing else to add. Keep supporting the Pirates, though, baby. Keep supporting.
Yeah.
Push up now.
And push up now. Did it ever actually storm in Raleigh last night?
Look, I work in Durham. I've been in Durham, so I'm basically in Raleigh. It was violent for 15 minutes and then it went away. That's all I saw. It stormed for about 15 minutes and went away. It didn't storm again.
And
so
this time it seemed like the decision was mutual between ECU and NC State to cancel the game. But if you remember, this isn't the first time that this has happened in Raleigh. Now, last time I don't believe there was a single cloud in the sky, and Elliott Avent canceled the game the day of the game due to inclement weather. If you remember that was Ooh, was that 2019? I feel like it's been a while now, but still, you want to play those games, and you want to get a lick back on NC State. But overall, it sucks. Honestly, I was watching the Hurricanes anyways. I wasn't going to watch that game. I don't have ACC network, but Hurricanes right now are my top priority.
Yeah.
All right, football. Artie, spring game.
Spring game's coming, baby.
Always love the spring game. It's a great chance to get out to kind of get a good glimpse. It's that perfect teaser to get you ready for the summer.
Yeah.
And get you ready for the upcoming football season. I had a great talk with a guy already. I was posted up at my local coffee shop today. Saw a guy walk in with an ECU men's soccer pullover on. That's how old this man's pullover was. It was a Conference USA men's soccer pullover.
That's respect.
And I was like, "Oh, go Pirates!" As I do with anybody I see wearing East Carolina gear. And he kind of looked at me funny, and then he looked at his sweater. He was like, "Oh yeah." He said, this isn't mine. I actually went to Memphis, and I'm a Memphis fan. But my brother played soccer for ECU back in the day, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." But then he and I got to talking about ECU Memphis. I'm gonna say it right now. That ECU Memphis game late in the season this year is gonna be. I think it's gonna be pivotal to who plays for the American Athletic Conference Championship at the end of the year.
I will be honest. Memphis is my personal favorite in conference opponent to play. I love when we play Memphis. I really do.
Why?
Because I've always liked Memphis, just personally, just me personally.
Walking in Memphis.
And I like Memphis. I've never been to Memphis either. I want to actually go to Memphis and actually visit the city and do the whole nine. And we just had good games against Memphis.
We do.
It's just good games. It's classics. So
those last two games, and granted they both went ECU's way.
Right.
Those last two games are some of my favorite games that ECU has played or been a part of, at least since we've been doing the podcast.
And I'll also throw this in there too. Memphis is also, because they've been consistent and they played for conference championships and they've been consistent. They've been in the top 25. It's like if you can beat Memphis in this conference, then you are also one of those teams that can win this conference and prepare yourself, to something greater. So Memphis is kind of like a standard in the American. If you can beat them, you can win the conference. That's just how I feel.
Yeah. I like our chances. That'll be senior day for the Pirates. So, but yeah, let's get back to the spring game, Artie. Last year that we talked about, I guess a week or two ago. Last year there was a lot of excitement. You had your new toys. You had the new quarterbacks. You had your new offensive coordinator. This year, there's still a lot of excitement around this team after how they finished the year last year. Got a new in title only head coach, Blake Harrell, friend of the podcast, is the head coach, and he's completing his first spring as ECU head coach.
Yeah,
I like what they've been doing. I like that we're not getting the same old. Yeah, we had a great practice in the media availability. I like that the coaches all three of the main coaches, your head coach Blake Carroll and JDB, the offensive coordinator, and then Josh Aldridge, the defensive coordinator, they're all talking about, hey, like, yeah, we feel like we're gonna be good, but there's still a long way to go before we're ready to kick the season off.
Yeah.
Let's see how we can finish out the spring practice, the spring game. A lot to be excited about still on offense. How are some of the newcomers on defense? How are they going to fill some of those holes? How's that going to play out? I'm excited to see what we do.
I am too. I mean, the spring game is the official closing of the previous year, and it's the unofficial start of the next year. It's spring. It's new beginnings. Okay, we are wiping ourselves clean, and we're starting fresh. What do we have to look forward to for this upcoming season? So it's always a good time, and obviously because it's open to the public, it's free, so you get to go out there. You get to. I hate how this season and going forward, the spring game is probably going to be diminished because of some of the things that have come out, right? But I really do feel like it's a great opportunity for people to come out. People that can't really get to the games in the fall, that maybe can't afford the games in the fall, they can come out. They can be in the stadium. They can eat good food. They can see the team, see the coaches, get autographs, this, that, and the third. I think the spring game nationwide is very, very important. It shouldn't go away. But as you said, I'm very, very excited to see with this new regime as head coach, but second coming of JDB in the second season, Caden Hauser at the helm in the second season. How does this offense really mesh going into the 2025 season? How does this defense, like you said, going to fill some of those gaps that we got to fill? I'm excited. It's cautious optimism, but you always got to be cautiously optimistic with ECU football. But I'm excited how they look in the spring game.
Yeah. I'm excited. I think the biggest thing is seeing the development of Caden Hauser under JDB, and then how does a full off season, and I said it last week, a full off season with Anthony Smith and Yannick Smith, how does that play into what we see? We saw the connection last year. How has that grown now that we have some continuity on offense from year one to year two? So
I'll tell you what, if just a little caveat on Yannick though, if he can put it all together, man, his explosiveness and his over the top ability. Just watch out for a surprise season from Yannick Smith. That's all I'll say.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I worry that he's going to be a guy that is gone after this year.
I would hate it. I would absolutely hate it. But I mean, he's got that kind of upside and that kind of skill if he puts it all together.
Oh, for sure. For sure. But anything else? Lot going on Saturday for the spring game. 10 a.m. the barbecue plate sale, the pigskin pig out is going to start. That goes until they are sold out of barbecue. So if you're interested in getting some lunch, get out there early. 10 a.m. to 12:30. The annual Pig Out Your Ride Pigskin Car Show will be taking place, and then they've got some other events and things going on. The fourth annual Touch Our Trucks is going on. The Kid Zone and Skills Station will be open from 10 a.m. to noon, and then the Pigskin Pig Out Vendor Palooza. Cost to enter is $20 per spot, 20 for the day of the event. So if you're wanting to enter into any of that, that will be $20. And then you can also come out and shop from a variety of local businesses at the Vendor Palooza. Spare change, Artie. Maybe I can change your mind and get you to come to Greenville with me if it meant that we get to enjoy spare change.
Let me tell you something. I don't care what they say. That's the greatest cover band of all time. I don't care what they say. Love me some Spare Change.
Man, the amount of times that I have drunkenly enjoyed Spare Change.
It's an absurd amount of times. We're probably groupies at this point.
My family, like, we go to Spare Change concerts, especially like around Emerald Isle and Morehead City and those places, Beaufort, Jack's on the waterfront. If you know, you know. And when they see us, they know it's a good time.
Yeah.
Like, they know. So yeah. And then the dunk tank from 10:15 a.m. to 12 p.m. Already, how much would it cost for me to get you in a dunk tank?
Oh, I would do a dunk tank for
You
sure.
would?
I'm not doing the polar plunge. To
Oh,
hell with that. No, but I'll do a dunk tank.
I've
Yeah,
done the polar plunge a couple of times. It's not that bad.
yeah. I'll do a dunk tank. I don't mind that.
I've also done a dunk tank before. Have you ever done it? It's a lot of fun.
I haven't. I haven't, but I would definitely be down to do one.
I did the dunk tank. I believe it was in high school, and just heckling a bunch of people because they couldn't hit the target.
See, that would be me. I'd just be like, you can't hit it. You're not athletic.
Just talking the most shit. Just a 15-year-old Jared talking the most shit to some 40-year-old man.
That sounds about right.
And then yeah, you'll have PD's birthday party at noon. The Purple Gold Spring Game, and then from 1:30 around 1:30 onward, it will be meet the football team. So you'll be able to do a meet and greet. It'll be on Bagwell Field inside Dowdy Ficklin Stadium. Come get autographs, meet your favorite players.
Yeah.
And 4 p.m. the action will start to come to an end, but it's really just beginning as your Pirates take on the Green Wave inside Clark LeClaire Stadium. So yeah, lots to do in Greenville this weekend, and I'm excited to at least be there for the spring game. I don't know that we're going to stay for the baseball game. That 3-hour drive back after a 4:00 baseball game
it's a lot.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I'll say that. But yeah, I'm excited. I always love the spring game. Always love the spring game.
It's a good time. It's a good time. Now, I've been to like 6 spring games, and I don't think I've ever actually done the pigskin pig out. I've never gotten like a plate from pigskin pig out. So that's on me though.
That is on you.
That's definitely on me. I've had plenty of opportunity. Just haven't gone.
Yeah, look, I like to indulge. Everybody knows my take on North Carolina barbecue, but it is a good time. Like when you're down, when in Rome, right? Like,
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed it every time that I've gone, but most of the time we're getting in, and then we're doing what we need to do for the podcast, and then heading out. But I would love to spend the entire day just pirating out.
Yeah, get there early in the morning and just experience the entire day. But we do have a 3-hour drive. So
Love that Brandon's texting us, watching. Love you, Brandon. I'll see you Saturday. All right, Artie. Tomorrow, the draft is starting.
oh, it's draft eve.
It is. Have you watched Draft Day this week? It's on Netflix.
Absolutely not.
You don't like Draft Day?
You talking about the movie?
Yeah.
Never seen it.
What?
Never seen it. I'm sure it's good. Never seen it. I've never seen Moneyball either. Not one second. I've never seen a second of Moneyball.
What is your favorite sports movie?
Remember the Titans. That's just right. And then I would say Any Given Sunday. is number 2. And then I would say Longest Yard is number 3.
Longest Yard.
It's a classic. I love that movie.
Are you talking the original or like the modern?
I like both of them. Modern is going to be my favorite, but I like the original Burt Reynolds Longest Yard too. Seen them both. Love them both.
I need you to watch Draft Day.
I'll watch it. Even I'll watch Draft Day. I'll watch Moneyball. I know they're great movies. I just have never sat down and watched.
There's a lot of people out there that have mixed opinions on Draft Day. I, for one, think it's a great movie.
That's Kevin Costner, right?
Yeah. P. Diddy as well. So.
No Diddy.
And I mean they had real NFL football players in there. Arian Foster's in it. I'm trying to think who else is in that movie. I don't know. I'll say already on your. Here's when you need to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you how to watch it. Do you usually fly Delta out to San Diego?
Actually, I fly American.
American.
Usually fly American.
You're on that you're on that second tier.
I mean, come on, man. Come on now.
I'm kidding.
Delta, look, I can only get cheap Delta flights out of Atlanta. I'm not driving all the way down to Atlanta.
No, you connect in Atlanta.
Out of Charlotte.
You connect in Atlanta and then you go.
No, but I can just easily go from Charlotte, and it's a nonstop. Charlotte, San Diego, Charlotte.
But then you have to drive back. Like, no, just fly out of Greensboro. And
this last time I did a connector. I did Greensboro to Charlotte, Charlotte to San Diego.
That Greensboro to Charlotte flight is like 10 minutes.
No, it is. Like, it's legit.
I've done that flight.
It's like, all right.
I know all about that flight.
Landing. So hold on, we just took off. What do you mean to prepare for landing? And 10 minutes later, you're in Charlotte. That's a real thing. Yes.
Yeah, it's literally 10 minutes, like Greensboro to Charlotte. No, I believe I don't know which airlines have it, but I'm pretty sure Delta does, or at least they did. On the in-flight entertainment, they have Draft Day, and that's my go-to airplane watch. Is Draft Day on my flight?
You watching Draft Day?
What? What?
So you're watching Draft Day every time?
If it's a long enough flight to complete the movie, yes.
Okay. See, American offers the free flight entertainment, so they give you the movie catalogs too. They don't, you don't have the actual screen you can watch in front. You got to do it on your own device. But,
yeah. No. What are we talking? No.
Yeah. I look. I've flown plenty of Delta flights, and I am a little upset about that I don't have an actual screen. I can just touch and go to the movie. I got to use my own device. I'm with you on that. I'm with you.
You need to get you one of those Delta Sky Miles cards.
I have flown plenty of times. I'm with you, but
Delta is where 100% where it's at.
Yeah,
100% where it's at.
I won't disagree with you. I won't disagree.
I will fly American in a pinch, but I am a Delta guy through and through. No free ads.
American is as low as it gets, though. We're not doing Frontier. We're not doing Spirit. We're not doing JetBlue. I'll be United if I'm desperate, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind Southwest.
Oh yeah, I grew up on Southwest. I will do Southwest. You know what you're getting with Southwest. You're just getting a good flight. That's it. You're not getting the perks and bells and whistles. You're just going to get to and from.
Now, Southwest is starting to charge for carry-ons.
I heard that. Yeah, I did hear that.
That was something that Southwest had going in their favor. Look, Delta doesn't charge me for a carry-on. I take that thing in, put it up top. I don't pack luggage. I can't remember the last time I checked a bag. Cannot remember the last time I checked a bag. Maybe my honeymoon.
Yeah.
We're not checking bags around here. All right. You got to watch draft day. Artie, you got nothing else going on tonight. Watch draft day.
Well, I don't know. I got to watch the rest of this Warriors Rockets game.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. What you need to be watching is
I see Steph go off on these young boys.
Stars Avalanche just started, so you need to be watching that game. That you know, talk about thrilling NHL playoffs, but the draft is also thrilling. Artie,
yes,
I think we decided pre-show we're not going to do a full first round mock draft. I think what do you want to do? 15.
Let's do 15. Let's
15. I like 15 because that's where my Falcons are drafting.
Yeah.
So if we could get
we
there,
get my Bears, get your Falcons,
and be done.
Yep.
All right. So the first overall pick is the Tennessee Titans. Do we both agree? Are they going Cam Ward? It's got to be Cam Ward, right?
I think, yeah. I think at this point it's consensus. It would be probably the biggest shock if they don't go Cam Ward. They're going Cam Ward. Tennessee Titans are definitely going Cam Ward.
Okay. And I believe second overall pick, Cleveland Browns, Travis Hunter.
Look, there's a lot of people saying that they could go quarterback and should go quarterback, obviously because they made the worst decision in free agent history by signing Deshaun Watson to that deal. But I don't think they found one they like. So yes, I think they go Travis Hunter. He's a generational guy. And he's going to come in. He's going to start immediately. He's going to help your offense and defense possibly immediately. So, yes, I think the Browns go Travis Hunter.
All right. The third overall pick, the New York Giants.
Yep.
What do you think happens here? There's a lot that they could do.
There's a lot they can do. This is where it gets interesting. And because they need a lot. But the Giants are not going to get their team fixed overnight. And I think they are going to go with best available. Would I be shocked if they drafted Shedeur here? No. Do I think they're going to
if they draft Shedeur here, they deserve to live in poverty for the rest of eternity.
Well, I don't think Shedeur is going to be a bad quarterback, but I do think it depends on where he lands. I think it depends on where he lands. I really do think it depends on where. Now, I think I even think Cam Ward is a little overrated in terms of like.
This might be the worst
quarterbacks.
This might be the worst quarterback class in quite some time.
Do I think Cam's going to be a bust? No, I don't think he's going to be a bust. But I do think, like compared to other prior years, he wouldn't have gone number one overall in last year's draft. He wouldn't have gone number one overall 2 years ago. He just wouldn't have. But I think the Giants probably go at Abdul Carter at number 3. Now, they have pass rush. They don't actually need Abdul Carter, but he's the best player left at number 3, and I think that's what they do.
Yeah, I think it's smart when you can. I think Abdul Carter is a generational talent.
Yeah.
I don't know that they go that route. If I were them, I would. But so yeah, I'll take them with Abdul Carter.
Okay. I like it. Now the draft starts.
Yeah, now
before. Now it starts.
Now it's a crapshoot.
We don't know.
Now, like, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
All right. 4th overall pick, Brandon's New England Patriots. What you thinking here?
The Patriots could go defense, like they could go edge, they could go corner, they could go receiver, they could go running back, they could go O tackle. Like they could literally go in 5 to 6 different directions with this pick. I'm gonna say they go Will Campbell, which is the offensive tackle, I believe. Because if they truly believe that Drake May can be the franchise piece, then you have to immediately put a good offensive line in front of him. You can always get a running back. You can always get a receiver in free agency. You can always build on that defense. Mike Vrabel is excellent, obviously, at defense. I think if you believe in Drake May, you go shore up that O line, you put protection around him, and you see exactly what he can do if he's going to be your franchise guy. So I think they go Will Campbell, number 4. Now I could be completely wrong, but that's what I'm choosing.
Yeah, I like that, and that's actually who I had the offensive tackle out at LSU. Yeah, I think Drake May is one of the more surprising stories out of last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way that he really put a season together. Yeah, I like that pick for them. All right, 5th overall. Who's that? The Jags.
Jaguars.
Mm.
You got it.
I think they go Genty here.
You think they go Ashton at number 5?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think so. I think so.
Don't they? But they still have ETN. Why would they need
Yeah.
ETN?
I think yes, you have ETN. I think the style of running from Genty, it's kind of that 1A, 1B. He's kind of more of a bruiser at times than ETN is. I like that. And then also, I mean, it does give Trevor Lawrence another weapon, right? Like it's not just a 1-2 punch. You're gonna have that along with Trevor Lawrence. I think they go here, and I think right now he's the best available, and I think a lot of the picks the rest of the way are going to be okay. What's the best available? Because this draft really isn't that stacked.
I agree. This is the first time we disagree, though, because I think the Jaguars, they do go. Now, they absolutely could go offense here. They could get him a tight end. They could get him a running back, like you said, Genty. But I do believe they're going to go defense here, try to shore up that defense, and go with a player that may be best available left. I think they do go with Mason Graham out of Michigan. That's who I feel like the Jaguars go with, just because his fit with what they need and how versatile he can be as a player. I would say Mason Graham. Again, could be completely wrong, but I think they go Mason Graham there.
Yeah, like that pick too. All right, the Raiders.
The Raiders.
What do they even need? I feel like they need a lot.
They need a quarterback. They need
quarterback,
a receiver. They need. They probably need a running back. They probably need help on O-line. They need a lot of stuff on offense. Defense, I think, is okay, but they need a lot of stuff on offense.
See, I feel like
they got Geno. Didn't they get Geno? I think they got Geno Smith. Raiders got Geno.
Do they?
I'm pretty sure because they got Pete Carroll, right?
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure. Yes, I'm pretty sure they got Geno. Pretty sure.
But Geno's not that generational quarterback. He's
not,
good.
But yes, they got Geno Smith. So like Geno, if we're being honest, he's been a top 10 quarterback the last 2 years.
That's true.
He's been top 10. And if you
but
get
now,
top performance out of Geno,
what does he? What weapons does he have now?
Exactly. What does he have? which is why I'm picking the kid out of Arizona.
Same. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that first name.
Yeah, I'm not going to butcher his first name. I'm not going to do that to him.
McMillan.
But McMillan out of Arizona, I think that's where the Raiders go. Because you're absolutely right. Who does he have to throw the ball to? Go get him somebody. He's got some question marks. His work ethic is not where you want it to be, but his skill and his upside, you got to take that kind of risk at number 6.
All right. Jets, Jets. What you thinking?
I kind of guessed on this one. I'm gonna be honest with you. The Jets are a mess. They're a mess. They've been a mess. A part of me thinks they'll always be a mess. But I'm gonna say Tyler Warren. I'm just gonna say that the tight end out of Michigan, Tyler Warren, just because they don't have any good tight ends at all in their room, and so I think they go Tyler Warren there, even though they need 1,000 different things
out of Michigan.
So
didn't he play for Penn State?
Tyler Warren? Yes, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Not out of.
I was about to say, man, the Michigan man. Where's Josh to call Artemis a casual? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Out of Penn State. My apologies.
Now, I like that pick. I could also, if they wanted to take a swing, I don't think that they need to take this swing this early. But if they really wanted to, I think here's a place where they could maybe look at going like a Shedeur. I don't know that they will, but I wouldn't be surprised.
That would, to me, that would be the absolute worst scenario for both situations. That would be the worst case scenario for Shedeur, and it would be the worst case scenario for the Jets.
I don't know.
Both sides.
I don't know what they're going to do, but I do like the Tyler Warren pick, so I would agree with that one. Who's in New York now? Who's with the Jets? Who they got going into the year with as their quarterback?
Don't ask me because I don't know. I don't keep up with the Jets. I have no idea who they've got. To be completely honest with you, I know they've got Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. That's it.
Oh well, they do have Justin Fields.
Okay, you're right. They
I completely forgot they had Justin Fields now.
They did get Justin Fields from the Steelers, which that doesn't move the needle for me either. To be honest with you, just because as a Bears fan, I know what Justin Fields brings, and he's got a lot of upside, but I don't know if he's ever going to actually take you to where you're trying to get to.
I think the ceiling for Shedeur is high, but I also think the floor is very low. Like, I think this could be one of the...
It depends on fit. Shedeur Sanders is a quarterback where fit matters.
Would Deion let him go there?
To a decent organization with an offensive-minded coach, the sky's the limit.
Will Deion let him go?
If he goes to the Jets with that staff and that front office, it is going to be a nightmare. I think it would be a nightmare. Which the Jets are not going to get it anyway. They're not going to pick him.
Part of me would love to see that.
Why are you praying for that man's downfall?
No comment. The Panthers. What are they doing?
Now this, at number 8 with the Carolina Panthers, this is where they get a Michigan man. My apologies from earlier, but they get Will Johnson to shore up that cornerback room, put in some solid work. They've lost some key pieces on defense. They draft Will Johnson here. It's an easy pick in my opinion. Yes, they can do some more things on offense, but they can do some more things everywhere on that team. but I think they get Will Johnson with this pick.
Yeah, I think they're probably looking at two Michigan men because I think you've already had Mason Graham off the board. I don't. I could see them going that route. I could see them going Will Johnson. They could look at that linebacker out of Georgia,
Yeah,
Walker.
he's projected to go anywhere from like 8 to 25. Like he's all over the map.
Yeah, that guy's. I've seen him pretty much anywhere, like you said, between 8 to back half of the first round.
Yeah.
But no, I'm with you. Will Johnson. I think that's where he lands is in Carolina.
I like it.
The Aints. The New Orleans Saints. I think this is where Mason Graham ends up.
Okay.
I could be wrong. They got a lot of holes. A lot of question marks around the Saints this year. Is Carr going to be healthy enough to play? Kind of hoping he's not, so that they have to take Kirk Cousins off my Falcons' hands. I don't know, Artie. What you thinking?
Yeah, this is honestly where I feel like Shador goes, and not because he will go, but this is just where I think he's going to go. He could go if he's going to go in the first round, he's going to go to one of three places: the Giants, which is highly unlikely, the Saints at 9, or the Pittsburgh Steelers at 21, and he falls all the way to 21. I think the 3 landing spots he has. If I had to choose, though, I think the Saints, because of Derek Carr, because he might be out for an entire year, and if he is out for an entire year, you're gonna be like, okay, look, we tried it didn't work.
How old is Derek Carr?
He's got to be 34, 35. He's got to be early to mid 30s.
Sun's getting real low, big fella.
Sun's getting low for Derek Carr. Sun's getting low for Derek Carr. So I think if they're going to take a flyer on quarterback, they go Shador here, and they have an offensive-minded head coach in New Orleans. I think this is a good landing spot for Shador if he goes to New Orleans. I think this would be a good fit. I think he would fit that culture. I think he would fit that city, right? Like when you draft a kid, you got to go with culture and fit and how they would, go in with your organization. I feel like it would be a good pick. I think this now if they don't go Shador, I have no idea where they pick.
If they go Shador, Artie, my Falcons may not end up dead last or near the bottom of sacks. For the season, because they'll put him on his ass.
The craziness about Shador Sanders is that he's been as high as the number 1 or number 2 pick, and now we're talking about him not even being a first rounder. Like they're saying, oh, he could be a second, third round pick. But I don't know.
I've seen mock drafts that get. I think that there's gonna be a quarter. I think at most, and I know this is a question that we have later on in Gambling Corner. I think at most there are 2 quarterbacks taken in the first round, and I don't think
I would agree with that.
I honestly don't think Shador, and this isn't anything against him. I don't think he's one of the top 2 quarterbacks, but I think he has the name. He moves the needle for fan bases. And I think if he can come into the right place in the NFL, I feel like he could be successful. Look, as much as people want to talk about him and talk about how great he was, now he does have, I think I saw, he holds the record for highest completion percentage in college football history. But I think a lot of those are like dump passes.
I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due. I think a lot of people are like, he can't play, and that doesn't make any sense to me. If you go and watch the Colorado film, Colorado, I mean, did he have a good old line, Jared? Did he have a good old line? Did he have protection?
He had the best O-line money could buy.
No, he didn't. Because you didn't watch a lot of Colorado football games. If you watch Colorado football
Why
games,
the hell would I watch Colorado football games?
Exactly. Thank you for answering the question.
But
his head was on the ground a lot.
Yeah, because
he was on the ground, running for his life. And the fact that
he can't make the decision. He can't make the decision.
I'm not saying he's going to be a great NFL quarterback.
I don't
what
think
I don't want to hear is he's automatically going to be a bust. He's just not good. He just can't.
I just said I think he has a very high ceiling, but I also think he has a very low floor, and I don't think there's much in between.
And that's why I think New Orleans, Kellen Moore, that's the situation he should be in. That's it. I'm telling you right now, that should be the. Now,
I would love to see it, and I would love to see that franchise and his career burned down.
Well, I mean, you're a Falcons fan. You hate the Saints. I get it. But y'all can't get that your own way either. So y'all gotta worry about y'all. Now you got Michael Penix. You may have something. You may have something, Penix.
If we can shore up our defense and have a better pass defense, especially from a rush perspective, I think the Falcons will be A-okay. I think the Falcons could once again challenge for the NFC South next year. They should have won the damn thing last year, but stupid Kirk Cousins. Whatever. All right. Artie, take it away. Duh, Bears.
Number 10, my Bears. Look, I like what we have done in the offseason. I like how aggressive Ben Johnson and Pace have been with getting offensive linemen, because we need that. If you got your franchise quarterback, go get a damn O-line. Go get the best O-line money can buy, as Jared would say. Go do it. Spend all the money on O-line. Spend it all. And I like how aggressive we've been there. We obviously have the pieces receiver-wise still on offense, and we're doing some things on defense. I think here we either go Armand Mimbo out of Missouri, who can come in and be LT left tackle immediately, or at least compete for that starting spot to really like put it all together. Or if he falls to us, and I don't know if he's going to fall to us, I hope he does, because I really want to pick him, and that's Ashton Jeanty. If Ashton Jeanty is still sitting there at 10, which he could be still sitting there at 10, I would like to go get Jeanty. I really would, because that provides a security blanket that gives you an extra bona fide weapon out of the backfield for Caleb Williams. Yes, we have DeAndre Swift, but he's not a bell cow that Jeanty can be. And I really feel like Jeanty could possibly be the next type of Derrick Henry, Adrian Peterson type of bell cow, like I'm just going to punish you type of running back. So if he's still there at 10, I want Jeanty.
No, I mean, if he's there at 10, which I don't know that he will be, if he's there at 10, yeah, that's the way to go. But I also like that Armand Mimbu. And since I've already got Jeanty off the board, that's where I'm going.
Yeah. One of those two guys, though. If we go anywhere outside of those two guys, then I'm like, okay, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So.
All right. The 49ers. What we got going on in San Francisco?
Yeah.
I think I could see them going Michael Williams from Georgia.
Okay.
Edge rusher.
I'm also going defense, but I think they go Jahdae Barron out of Texas, cornerback out of Texas. Just because they got to go defense, right? They could go edge, they could go backfield, safety, corner, whatever. But I think they go Barron out of Texas.
All right. The Cowboys, another possible landing spot if Dallas somehow decides to flip Dak for Shador.
You said Shador?
I'm not saying it's happening, but I know there's been talks about them possibly considering it. Then Dak move on somewhere else. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they go wide receiver here. I like that. Once again, some of these names, man. Amika Egbuka,
Egbuka.
wide receiver from Ohio State. Look, I like this pick because you're giving somebody opposite of CD Lamb, giving Dak another weapon, and Dak has shown that at times he can be that quarterback that everybody thought he could be. I think if he can get just another long weapon, I think that'll put the Cowboys over the top.
I agree. I think they get a weapon for Dak. I think they go offense here. I don't think they go receiver, though. I think they go running back. That running back room is depleted. They do not have a solid guy they can go here.
Rajay Harris, welcome to Dallas.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
No,
Nah,
I do not want him there.
I think they go a few miles up the road to Chapel Hill. I think they get Omari and Hampton out of Carolina. I think that's who they drafted. I think it's a solid pick because again they got to short that running back room. I think they go Hampton out of Chapel Hill.
All right. The Dolphins. Already.
Now, see, I was one pick late, but this is actually where I have Ibuka going out of Ohio State. I have Ibuka going to the Dolphins simply because, yes, you have Tyreek Hill. Yes, you have. I'm drawing a blank on the receiver out of Alabama that the Dolphins have. I'm forgetting his name. He's a good receiver though too though. But in the event, because he's injury prone, and then Tyreek Hill, who knows? You may have to trade him. You may have to get rid of him. He's always running his mouth. He's kind of a diva. In the event that happens, you get an Ibuka, you get a short thing on a rookie contract. He's cheap. He'll help Tua out. Obviously, you're trying to make moves for right now. The Dolphins got to win right now. They got an offensive minded coach. I think Ibuka goes to the Dolphins.
Yeah, this is one of those teams that could be in play for a quarterback. I don't think they go that route.
No, I don't think so either.
Like, I think, yes, Brandon. Were you talking about Jalen Waddle?
Jalen Waddle, yes. Thank you, bro. I was like, I cannot think Jalen Waddle. Yes, that's the other stud receiver they got, but he's injury prone.
I mean, yeah, and that's the problem with Tua, right? That's the only reason I think that they could go. I mean, Tua's one hit away from being the poster boy of CTE. I think you had this guy picked a couple picks ago. I could see them going that Jahdae Barron out of Texas. I think they need to. I think they probably. I would rather them go offense, but I don't know really who's going to really help them that isn't already off the board on my draft.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, Indianapolis.
Indianapolis Colts. I don't know what the Colts need. I know they got some quarterback issues. I know they're a decent roster though, if they can actually get the quarterback position right, and they got a good coach. This is where I've got Jahad Campbell going though at 14 out of Alabama. I think they get that stud linebacker. Alabama at 14, again, one of those best available kind of guys. So that's where I got Campbell going.
All right. Yeah. Like they do have I think a lot of their problems stem from their quarterback room. They're not making any move at quarterback right now, but I think if they could have another piece on offense, that would be good.
Mhm.
But I'm with you. I'm going Jahad Campbell out of Alabama. I could also see them looking at tight end. I feel like last year they
Yeah.
had the. I feel like I read somewhere they had like the least tight end usage and um like worst performance from tight end play last year. So I could see them going that Colston kid, Tyler Colston out Michigan.
Yeah.
But I think the like you said, best available. I think they got Jahad Campbell, Alabama here.
I like it. I like it. And last but not least,
Look, I think I've said it the last 5 years that we've done this. We've this is our 5th year doing a mock draft. I think every year I've said, please go defense first round. That's what we need. We've always needed defense. And every year it seems like we pick some. I mean, every year we pick a skill position, wide receiver, quarterback, running back. Look, love the Penix pick last year. I wasn't crazy about it at the time, but after seeing him last year, very happy with what they did. Also, I mean, the Bijan pick, love that. They've had their misses though. Like Kyle Pitts, not sold. I think he may be off to greener pastures after this year. I don't know what exactly they're going to do there, but I think they finally go defense here, and I think if they've got a couple options, they could trade back, which is something that the Falcons love to do. They love their draft capital. Falcons only have 5 picks total in this year's draft.
yeah.
So could they trade back, maybe pick up a late first round pick for the 15th overall, and then also maybe secure a second round pick or a mid round pick? Who knows? I want them to keep this. I want them to go out. I want them to get the FBS leader in sacks from last year, edge rusher out of Marshall University, Mike Green. That's the pick.
I couldn't have said that. That's my pick too, Jared. I couldn't have said it better myself. I was gonna be like, show the G5 some love, baby. Mike Green, a fucking terrorizer out of Marshall.
God, I would love that.
That's my pick. That's exactly why I had to
That's that's a bruiser.
Yeah, I think that would be an excellent pickup for Atlanta.
Let Shedeur go to New Orleans and let the Falcons draft this man. Let this man put Shedeur on his ass 2 weeks out of the season. I would love it. No, I mean the Falcons last year, I believe, were dead last in sacks. And they have been. Look, I've said it. The Falcons and East Carolina University are very similar. They put pressure on the quarterback, but they can never hit the quarterback. And I think both of those things are going to change this year. And I can't wait for it.
Follow if you want to win championships in the NFL, just look at what the Philadelphia Eagles just did. A suffocating defense and an excellent run game. And you'll win.
Yep. I think, and look, Bijan, dude's the real deal. You got the run game. You've got weapons. You've got weapons on offense. The Falcons can score. I'm not worried about that. The Falcons can put up points. The Falcons need to be able to hit the passer, hit the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't been able to do that really for as long as I can remember. So, all right, Artie, that's the 15 picks.
That's the mock. That is the Boneyard mock.
We're not going to do all the whole first round.
I think the first time we did a mock draft, it took us like 2 hours to get to those 32 picks. It was a long time.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. Another guy that I wouldn't mind if Mike Green for whatever reason isn't there. I wouldn't mind them picking up that Walter Nolan kid from Ole Miss.
Yep.
All right. Let's see what else is on the notes here. Artie, we've got. Oh, before we move on, there's some questions in here about ECU. Over under the 35th overall pick for Siobhan Revel.
Oh, I'm happy we're bringing this up. I'm actually very, very happy we're bringing this up because I've seen, much like Shador, his stock has risen, fallen, risen, fallen. I think Siobhan Revel can go as high as 29 to the Washington Commanders. I still think he's capable of being in the first round.
I do too.
Because Washington, like that will be a smart pick for Washington because they were almost dead last in their secondary and their cornerback play. He would come in and almost immediately fight for a starting position with Washington. But if he's going to go in the first round, I do think that's the only spot he would go.
I don't know. I could see him in Buffalo too.
You can see him in Buffalo. What's Buffalo? 31? 30, yeah. 31?
They're 30.
30. I could see that too, but it would be 29, 30. Like that's
which is where they kind of had him the entire time.
Right. I think teams are going to be scared. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they should, but I don't think they're going to do it. So I'm going to say the over for that reason. But I will not be shocked in the slightest if I hear that man's name called in the first round at 29 or even 30.
Yeah, I think I could see him at 29 or 30. I could also see him falling to like I would hate this. Him falling down to 37 to the Raiders. But no, I think I really like the idea of him going to Buffalo.
Yeah, you like Buffalo, I like Washington. I'd love to see it though.
I don't know. I remember when he first announced, like declared for the draft, I kept thinking Buffalo, and I kept seeing the initial mocks, Buffalo. Now, he did take an official top 30 draft visit. He's taken a bunch of draft visits, but I know he took one with New Orleans. If New Orleans decides to trade back, they could be in play. Which New Orleans could very well trade back from 9 to later in the first round if they want to pick up some draft capital.
No way he gets out of the second, though, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I do think teams, because he tore the ACL and he played for a G5, that's what makes me nervous. A lot of GMs, they get finicky about stuff like that.
Yeah, but I feel like the cornerback position is one of those positions that when you're looking at P5 or G5, that talent plays.
That's true.
So I think, and I mean, as a sophomore, the dude had a 24% incompletion rate on his coverage snaps. Like, he forced an incompletion on 24% of his coverage snaps. The 14th highest in the country as a sophomore.
Yeah.
Like, and then he played 3 games. 3 games that he played this past year? God, what could have been?
Between Jaquan McMillan and Siobhan Revel, we're about to be DBU out here.
And that's something that I think that's something that these GMs are going to look at and be like, oh, Jaquan McMillan came out of East Carolina undrafted. Look at what he's been doing. I mean, dude's starting for Denver now. this guy must be the real deal. So, and I don't think most the ACLs, these guys are coming back so much healthier now.
Yeah, I mean they're coming back from that like it's a regular injury. Like it's not a career ending thing at all anymore. So
Yeah, that and I mean, yeah, I think he'll be fine. Considering, I mean, he's by the time camp opens, he'll be like ready to go for training
right.
camp. I think he'll be just fine. I'm but to answer the question, I'm gonna optimistically say under,
I
but
like I like it.
I feel like in my head, I would if I was betting on my off what my head thinks, I would probably say the over. I just know how this goes.
Unfortunately,
I just know how this goes. Um, all right, next question. Any call outs? Like, do we think anybody else gets drafted in this draft? What are we thinking with like Raj? Anybody else? Maybe a later pick. I could see somebody taking a flyer on Winston Wright.
I can see someone taking a fly on Winston Wright. I look. Obviously Winston's going to get camp invites. Rogers going to get camp invites. They're going to have their opportunities to be UDFA's. But I don't see anyone else getting drafted outside of Rebel.
Okay. I I don't know that Raj, and I hate to say this, I don't know that he'll get drafted. I think after the second round, I mean, yeah, you'll have running backs taken, but you're not getting your a lot of the times you're not going out there to get your your number one quarter or number one running back after that,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not going to waste and I say waste, you're not going to spend a draft pick on that when you can add depth somewhere else, like along the line. So for that reason, I don't think that I think he gets signed as a UDFA.
Yeah.
I guess I think somebody takes a flyer on Winston Wright, maybe a 6th, 7th round.
Okay.
The dude is his speed. Even if somebody looks at him purely from a return specialist, especially with the new rules, I think that could be a thing. As far as UDFAs, I think there's some others. I think Chad Stevens probably signs a deal. I think Omar Rogers signs a deal.
I like Omar Rogers. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know that. I could see Tyler. I think Tyler Savage will sign a UDFA. I don't know that anything will come of it. I think the others have legit chances at least making a practice squad.
I would agree.
All right. Do you have a walk the plank? I don't. I'm happy. My Canes are up 2-0.
Jared is happy. Oh my goodness, this should be celebrated. This man ain't hate nobody.
Give me a minute and I'll think. Oh, actually, I do have one.
There we go. Come on, man. I know you're gonna walk the plank. Stop playing with me.
I do have one. This whole situation. Look, the Braves finally won 5 of their last 6 games already, and the only discussion that's going on around the Atlanta Braves right now is why do they treat their star player Ronald Acuna so badly? So going back 3-4 years, Ronald Acuna, he hit a long fly ball, thought it was a home run, pimped it, didn't run to first base, then got thrown out at second after it hit off the wall. And the manager, Brian Snitker, pulled him from the game, made him sit the bench because of that. Gave him a stern talking to, all that stuff, right? That's not how we play the game. And I agree. I'm somebody that, hey, you bust it down the line, especially if you're not exactly sure that it's out.
Right.
Well, last week, Jared Kelnick did that for the Braves. And he didn't get pulled. Brian Snitker was asked post game by Mark Bowman, one of the beat writers for the Braves. Hey, what did you say anything to Kelnick? Are you having a conversation? Why didn't you pull him? Kind of referring back to the situation with Acuna. And Snitker's response, I'm paraphrasing, was basically like, why would I pull him? Like, what are you talking about? This comes out, this quote comes out, and the article comes out, and Acuna responds to it. If it was me, I'd be on the bench. Now Acuna is rehabbing his ACL, his second ACL injury or tear from last year. Still rehabbing. He should be back in the next couple of months. I'm thinking about 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So this starts a media firestorm around the Braves because he's the guy, right? He's your franchise talent. Now he has trouble staying healthy right now, but that's your talent. And after this comes out, the next day they asked Snitker again, like, "Hey, like, any comment on this?" And Snitker goes, I didn't see that in real time, and like I didn't see him not run live. After watching it, yeah, we're gonna have a discussion, but still, it's a whole thing. You got some of the beat writers saying like, yeah, no, they're taking Snitker's side. Some of them are the national media is taking Acuna's side. Look, I love Ronald Acuna. I'm past those times where he didn't run it out. I'm past that. He's shown what kind of athlete he is. He's great in my book. Snitker has to answer that question better. He has to know what they're talking about before giving an answer, or at least have the reporter clarify. And then if you still didn't see it in real time, then you say, I didn't see that. I'll have to go back and look. Whatever. And we'll handle it from there. It was just poorly handled by Brian Snitker all around. And then I really don't want the Braves to have to do anything with Ronald Acuna. I want him to be happy. That man deserves to be happy.
Yeah, you definitely want to make the franchise guy happy, for sure.
Braves are turning it around. Don't look now; they're turning it around.
It's got to be the same for everybody.
So. Oh yeah, yeah, and that was the conversation. Is this a race thing? I don't think it is. You don't spend. I believe Snitker has been in the Braves organization for over 50 years. You don't spend 50 years in baseball, especially if you've got those kinds of problems. And you're not as universally loved by players if you've got those kinds of problems. I mean, this man was really close. He's not Jackie Robinson, but really close to Hank Aaron, being in the Braves organization for so long. They were very good friends. I don't think that it's a race thing. I think it's a maturity thing. Also, there's reports that, hey, like Brian Snitker had this conversation in private with Ronald Acuna Jr. 10 to 15 times before actually like pulling him. Like, hey, we need you to run this out. So I don't know. I don't really know who to tell to walk the plank. It's not. I don't think it's not Acuna. It's not the media. I don't, because I could see both sides of it. I really just think it's the entire situation of how it's been handled, and the fact that this has been a conversation for an entire week. That's absolutely brutal.
I like it. Well said, Jared. Well said. Well spoken.
All right. Do you have one? Are you happy?
I'm happy. No, I don't have a walk the plank. I got my playoffs going right now in the NBA. So
Did you see your boy flop last night? I see Brandon's message about some guy playing with a cut face or something. I don't know. Did you see your boy flop last night, LeBron?
I'm sure you're talking about LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Hey, look, LeBron can do whatever he wants, man.
I mean, he got a foul for it.
So that's a 40-year-old man who's arguably a top 5 player in basketball. That man can do what he wants.
All right, gambling corner. We'll start off. Hurricanes, Devils, total games over under 4.5. It's a 7-game series. Hurricanes currently lead 2-0. Going game 3, 8:00 Friday night in New Jersey, Newark.
Awesome.
What?
I said Jersey.
Jersey. Over under 4.5 games. Look, I don't want to sweep. I
Why
think
not? What kind of
hockey,
real fan doesn't want to sweep?
especially, that it's all about momentum. And so I don't want to sweep because I do think that I think that Washington Montreal is going to go a little bit longer. And I don't like having that a team goes 6-7 games and then my team only play 4.
You don't like the rest? You don't like
I don't like the rest. I don't like the rust.
Want to keep it going?
I want to keep it going. And so now, do I want to play 7 games? No, I don't want to play 7 games. I would like this to go 5 games, at most 6. I think this is done in 5. Look, the Devils, congrats on making the playoffs. You don't belong. Sayonara.
Hey, look, perfect scenario, right? Handle your business in game 3. They come out with all that fire and spirit and kumbaya in game 4. Let them get game 4, come back to the crib, win game 5 in Raleigh. Call it a day.
They need to get Blake Harrell on the siren.
And that's how the Canes should do that. Take care of your business in game 3, go up 3-0. It's a done deal at that point. They can get a game, win game 5 at the crib.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. And then the series spread, Hurricanes -3.5. I'm taking. I'm trying to think how that math works. I'm not. I guess I would take -2.5, not -3.5. Because if I'm taking it to 5 games, it's got to be -2.5. Okay. Over under, Artie, first round quarterbacks. 2.5.
Under.
I agree. Under.
Yeah, it's only going to be 2 gone, if that.
Over under, first round running backs. 2.5.
I mean, Genty and Hampton definitely going to go. But outside of that, I don't know either. I don't know if there's going to be another back.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I would say under.
I would say under as well. And then lastly, first round over under wide receivers 3.5. I'm gonna go over.
Yeah, it might be right at 3. To be honest with you, it might be right at 3.
It's gonna be close.
Yeah,
but
you know what?
I'm gonna go over.
Just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna take the under because I think it might be right at 3.
The only thing that gives me pause about it, this is a very defense heavy first round.
Defense, yep.
Lot of D line,
yep.
lot of defensive ends. A lot of cornerbacks that are going to be coming off the board early. So I mean I could see I could see it being under. I don't know. This I think this is the hardest one out of the three questions.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, you're right.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if there's only one quarterback taken in the first round.
And I also think franchises have kind of softened on how serious you need to take receiver in the draft because you can always go get a good receiver.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
and being a good receiver in college doesn't always translate to the NFL. I honestly think that the wide receiver position is, yeah, it's now every once in a while you have a wide receiver that comes out and they're like, okay, yeah, this is the guy.
right, you got to go get that guy.
Like, I mean,
Even a Marvin Harrison last year, right? I mean, excellent. Obviously, first round draft pick, but he didn't have the greatest year in Arizona. He had a good year. He had a good year.
But I think there's a big learning curve from college to the NFL at that position. Because you look at Drake London, right? Same thing. Yep. So I don't know. And I mean, I would say Drake London's probably. Would you put him in? Where would you put him right now? Like top 10?
As far as receivers?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's top 20 at least. I don't know if I'm going top 10.
I think it's close.
He might. I don't know top 10. I mean, I got to really look at it, but I don't know if Drake London's top 10.
Receiver. I don't know. He put together a hell of a year last year with his quarterback having like a 62% completion percentage.
Him out there with Michael Penix slinging that thing. Yeah, it might be something. Might be something different.
All right. That's all I got. That's all I got. Make sure you follow us on social media at Boneyard Podcast, at The Boneyard Podcast on TikTok, at Boneyard Podcast everywhere else. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Artemis. If they don't, tell them what to do.
The damn plank.
Damn right. And then leave us a 5-star review. Wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, whatever. 5-star review. You're best friend of the podcast. If you don't, go on and walk the damn plank. All right, Pirate Nation, we love you. We'll see you this weekend inside the friendly confines of Dowdy Ficklin Stadium as we watch the purple team take on the gold team. Go damn Pirates. Let's get out of here.
Hey, wash your hands, wash your butts. People, we love y'all. Deuce.